Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to my review of Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, TLC 2015. Now, I wasn't necessarily going to start with the kickoff show. Actually, before that, the show was actually pretty good. There was a few matches that sucked, and we'll get into that. But the end result was pretty good. We'll get to that in a second. But as I was saying, I wasn't going to review the kickoff show at all, but then I saw what the match was. It was Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, which is a smart move by WWE because Sasha's from Boston. So the match starts with Team Bad coming out and singing a stupid Christmas song. That wasn't even a Christmas song. Like, they made up their own lyrics to it. The crowd absolutely hated it. It was the only time they did not care for Sasha. The match was decent. The crowd was behind Sasha the whole time because of her being from Boston. Every time Becky Lynch kicked out of a pin, the crowd would boo. Becky eventually puts Sasha in the disarmer. Naomi interferes. Sasha puts in the bank statement, and Becky Lynch taps out. So that was the match for the kickoff show. Now let's get into the actual show. The first match, probably the best match of the night. It was the Triple Threat Tag Team Ladder match for the tag team titles. You have the Usos versus the New Day versus the Lucha Dragons. The match starts and the Usos and Lucha Dragons instantly team up on New Day. And before we get into this, Xavier sits out the match because he says the New Day can win without using 3-on-2. So he decides to sit out and do commentary. Kofi tries to win within the first 2 minutes. Like, he clears the ring and gets the ladders, but it ends up not working. Eventually, the Usos will throw a ladder outside of the ring, knocking Kofi out, and Big E and the Lucha Dragons catch it. They both dive to the second rope and take out everybody. Kofi, later in the match, Kofi's laying in the ring, and Sin Cara decides to get on the top rope with a ladder and then just ride it down onto Kofi. And that doesn't end well for Kofi. After that, the Usos get in the ring with Big E and they double super kick him, and then they grab Kofi and they hang him upside down by his legs in the corner with the ladder, and they drop kick him in the face. After that, Kofi got the worst out of this. Like, he gets the worst. Kalisto eventually Hurricane Rana's Kofi into a ladder, and while no one was in the middle, no one except for, I want to say it was Jimmy. I honestly can't tell the difference. Can't tell them apart when they're both in the ring. But Kalisto and I want to say Jimmy were the only two in the ring. They're climbing up the ladder, and this was the best spot of the whole night. Kalisto hits Salito del Sol off of the top of the ladder through another ladder. It was probably the greatest thing of that whole pay-per-view. It was amazing. Big E gets thrown outside of the ring with a ladder on top of him. Jay then frog splashes him off the top rope. Kalisto's when no one is in the ring, Kalisto eventually gets up from the Salito del Sol. He's climbing up the ladder. Xavier says, well, this match is no disqualification, throws the trumpet at him. Kofi then knocks him off the ladder, and Kofi climbs up and grabs the titles. New Day retains, which is obviously what we knew what was going to happen. The next match was the worst, probably, in my opinion, the worst match of the whole show, because it was the only non-stipulation match of the whole show. Like, it wasn't for a title, and it wasn't a special rules match. It was just Ryback versus Rusev. It was a terrible match. I mean, the match was exactly what you would expect from Ryback and Rusev, because we haven't seen it the past 2 weeks or anything. Rusev obviously dominates early because he's better. They go back and forth trying to suplex each other. Like, they just keep jumping up and down. Ryback eventually suplexes Rusev on the 6th try. Then Rusev, he's like, fuck this, I don't need it, let's walk out. He walks halfway down the ramp. Ryback stops him. Lana then fakes an injury. Rusev hits him with a super kick. Rusev goes for the accolade, puts him in the shell shock. Rusev reverses the shell shock, kicks Ryback in the face, puts the accolade on him, and Ryback loses by submission. That match, I absolutely hated. Did not like it one bit. Next match was fairly decent. It was the U.S. title chair match. The crowd was huge for Swagger in this match, and as soon as the bell rings, they both get out of the ring and go straight for the chairs. Swagger takes over early, which probably wasn't expected. Then Del Rio eventually hits a backstabber and beats Swagger with chairs. Del Rio will bury Swagger under like 5 or 6 chairs, just throwing them on him, because why the hell not? Swagger eventually gets back in the ring and he has Del Rio on the ground. He puts a chair around Del Rio's ankle like he's gonna break it, but then instead puts it in the Patriot lock. Del Rio eventually gets out. Swagger then hits a Swagger bomb, which was out of nowhere. Hits a Swagger bomb. The crowd's erupting. 1, 2. Del Rio kicks out. Del Rio then eventually hits the corner chest stomp thing. I don't know if he has a name for it. He hits it onto a bunch of chairs that are under Jack Swagger, and Del Rio keeps the title, which was another obvious win. Next was the 8-man elimination table match. The entrances were unique. Bray Wyatt came out wearing devil horns for some reason. Like it was pretty much, he took like some Halloween decorations and put them on his head. And then all 4 members of Team ECW brought out the tables from Raw that had the names duct taped, except for the Braun Strowman one. That one was already out at ringside. As soon as the match starts, Tommy Dreamer goes straight for the garbage cans and kendo sticks. Strowman takes out all of the Team ECW by himself. Then eventually, obviously, Team ECW jumps him. Rowan, he breaks up the jumping. He puts Devon on the table. Now this part was awkward because he puts Devon on the table, and then Devon starts to roll off the table, and Eric Rowan jumps over the table. No one touches the table, and then the table snaps in half. Just snaps. Devon didn't go through it. Eric Rowan didn't go through it. It just snapped. It was, I don't understand it. And then after that, Rowan gets 3D'd through another table. Rhino tries to gore Bray Wyatt through a table that's set up in the corner, but Luke Harper kicks Rhino through a table. He kicks him out of the ring through a table. So you have Eric Rowan and Rhino eliminated. Bray Wyatt then slams Devon through a table. So you have Eric Rowan, Devon, and Rhino all eliminated, which means Bubba, Tommy Dreamer, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman are the only 3 left. They're standing in the ring, and Dreamer and Bubba, they get kendo sticks. They beat down Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt, knock him out of the ring, then focus on Braun Strowman. They eventually bury Braun Strowman under a bunch of tables to like keep him out of the way for that time being. And then Luke Harper puts Tommy Dreamer through a table. So it's Bubba on 3. Now this part would have been good if it would have gone a little longer. Bubba takes out Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. He sets a table up in the middle of the ring. Then he goes under the ring, and he grabs some lighter fluid and a lighter. He covers the table in lighter fluid, and then Braun Strowman attacks him and puts him through the table. Bubba does not get to light it at all. It would have been better if he got to light it, but unfortunately he did not. So the Wyatts win with only losing Eric Rowan, which I don't understand the whole point of losing just one member. Next match was it was a good match. I love the way this match ended. I do. I know a lot of people may not be in favor of how this match ended, but I'm excited. The Intercontinental Championship match. Owens takes over earlier because he's bigger, he's stronger, I guess. He hits a running senton to Dean Ambrose while he's laying outside of ringside. Ambrose then eventually gets in at a 9 count. Ambrose hits the elbow drop to Kevin Owens and gets a 2 count. Now here is where the fun happens. Ambrose hits a Dirty Deeds. 1, 2. Kevin Owens gets the fingertips on the rope. Fingertips on the rope. He then eventually gets up, puts Dean Ambrose in the pop-up powerbomb. Dean Ambrose reverses the pop-up powerbomb into a pin. 1, 2, 3. New Intercontinental Champion, Dean frickin' Ambrose. Yes, I wanted that to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. I did not expect him to win the championship. I honestly didn't. I felt like they were going to just keep underutilizing him like they have been this whole year. But, hey, he won the championship. Good. The Divas title match was shit. I'll say it right now. It was shit. Paige gets a huge pop, which I'll give her a huge pop anyway. She's my favorite diva on the roster. So I don't care if she's a heel or not. Even though I'm more for the heels, she's still my favorite. So heel or not, she got a big pop from me. But she got a big pop from the whole crowd. And Charlotte comes out. She gets boos and woos only because Ric Flair is by her side. Charlotte tries to shake Paige's hand at the beginning of the match. And then she eventually takes over early because Paige declines. The crowd really does not care about this match one bit. Ric Flair, he's standing at ringside, and he's trying to take off the turnbuckle cover, but he eventually gets caught. Doesn't get thrown out. He just stays there. And with that distraction, Paige takes over. Paige puts Charlotte in the figure 4, which Charlotte eventually reverses, and Paige grabs the rope to get out. Paige hits the rampage. 1, 2. Ric Flair grabs Charlotte's leg and puts it on the bottom rope. So Charlotte does not get pinned, which sucks. Paige then she's arguing with the ref and telling her that Ric Flair fucking did that, you piece of shit. And while she's doing that, Charlotte takes off the turnbuckle completely, slams Paige's face into the turnbuckle. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte wins. Now, the match that nobody wanted to see, which ended pretty good. The match was a good match. It was expected to be a good physical match. Just, we know what the outcomes are. That's the only thing bad about this whole match. Like, Sheamus is a good performer. Roman Reigns is a good performer. The match was good. Just that we knew, like, Roman's not ready for the title, at least not as a face, and nobody wants fucking Sheamus as a champion. But Sheamus obviously gets booed. He comes out first for some reason, but he gets booed. Roman gets a very small reaction. He doesn't get booed, but he doesn't get cheered. As soon as the bell rings, starts out fast and physical, and then we hear "We Want Cena" chants. John Cena obviously did not return during the Del Rio Swagger match, which I had predicted, but what are we going to do? We Want Cena chants fill the arena. The match is fairly even to begin, but the crowd gives literally no shit. They fight their way up the ramp. Roman eventually throws Sheamus into some tables and chairs. Then he decides to try to powerbomb Sheamus through a table. Sheamus reverses that, flipping Roman into the table, going through it. And then Sheamus picks him up and he slams him through another table. Roman gets put back in the ring. He knocks Sheamus down, goes for the drive-by, and Sheamus reverses it by punching him in the face, and then beats Roman with a chair. After that, he picks Roman up, puts him on the steel. He picks Roman up, walks up the steel steps, and hits a white noise through a table. And after that, Daniel Bryan chants started to start. Roman then slams Sheamus onto a ladder. And Roman starts to get a little bit of cheers. Like, they're slowly like, hey, that was good. We'll cheer for you. And then NXT chants start. So we have Roman. I'm pretty sure there was Seth Rollins chants as well. But we had Cena chants. We had Daniel Bryan chants. And we had NXT chants all during a match that did not contain any of those people or anything from that company. I mean, technically Roman Reigns is from NXT, but not anymore. Roman then slams Roman gets Sheamus through the ropes. He's got him on the apron, and he slams Sheamus through a ladder that's laid across the it's laid on the apron and then on the announce table. He slams him through that. Roman and Sheamus then eventually they get back in the ring and they take turns climbing the ladder. Sheamus goes for a power bomb. Roman reverses it with a Superman punch. He was one of those. He was gonna power bomb from the ladder, so he just went under him and picked it. He didn't like do the whole flip, but he goes to power bomb him, and Sheamus gets punched for that, and Sheamus gets knocked. Wait, what? Oh yeah, Sheamus then knocks the ladder down as Roman is climbing. Sheamus grabs the title, like he's at the top of the ladder, and he grabs the title, and then Roman climbs up the ladder. Superman punches him off of it through a table, and then he gets to the top of the rope, or the top of the ladder. He's got the title in his hands. Roman Reigns has the title in his hands, and then Del Rio and Rusev, the League of Nations, come out and attack him. Roman eventually fights back. Like, he Superman punches Rusev, he Superman punches Del Rio, but then he gets brogue kicked. And Sheamus climbs to the top. Roman Reigns gets back in the ring. He puts one hand on the ladder, looks up. Sheamus grabs the title. Now, before I go on, before the events that happened after this happened, I had originally thought, well, since Dean Ambrose and the Usos never came out to help him, like Del Rio and Rusev both had matches, why couldn't Dean Ambrose and the Usos help? They had matches. They never came out, so I was thinking that maybe a possible heel turn where Roman Reigns turns heel against Dean Ambrose and the Usos. But then this happened. While celebrating Sheamus is on top of Rusev and Del Rio. Roman gets in the ring and he spears Rusev and Del Rio, and then eventually makes Sheamus fall. Then he picks up a chair and starts beating the living shit out of them. The Authority run down to the ring. Triple H is like, calm down, just stop, calm down. And the crowd gets behind him. They're cheering. There's more behind Roman Reigns than they were for the past month and a half. Roman Superman punches Triple H and then beats him with the chair, and eventually he just all out beats the shit out of him. They go through the ropes and eventually onto the ring side, and Triple H gets slammed onto the Spanish announce table. He doesn't get slammed through it. He gets slammed onto it. And then Roman Reigns gets on the normal announce table and he elbow drops Triple H through the table. He walks up the ramp. He leaves the scene, walking up the ramp. The chants coming from the crowd are "Thank you, Roman." So people are on his side finally. And then Roman runs as fast as he possibly can down the ramp, gets a spear off to Triple H, and then he walks back up the ramp. People are cheering. It was a great ending. I liked it, but because of that, I don't see Roman Reigns turning heel, unless it's going to be him turning heel against Dean Ambrose, but not joining with the Authority, because he's obviously not going to join the Authority after he just beat the shit out of it. The only thing can think of is Roman Reigns versus Triple H at WrestleMania. Because Triple H doesn't have an opponent yet, and Roman Reigns didn't win the championship. So I assume Roman Reigns versus Triple H at WrestleMania. I don't know if it'll be like a title shot at all for anybody, but yeah, Triple H versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, possibility. But that was it for the show. I told you the show was overall good, except for the Charlotte and Paige match, just because of the way it ended. Ryback and Rusev should not have been on the fucking card. And yeah. Besides that, it was a good match. It was a good show. I did not expect this. I expected shit, and they didn't give me shit. They gave me Salida del Sol from the top rope, from the top of the ladder through a ladder, which best move, best spot, best match, everything. That was that best match of the night right there. Best move of the night. It's too bad they couldn't win. Maybe one day. But I think I'm going to wrap up here. I'm going to go watch the Stone Cold podcast with Shawn Michaels. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these. I like doing them. I like watching WWE. So why not review it? I like it. So Raw review coming up tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and comment on how you felt about the match. And if you want, share it with your friends. We're growing family here, and we can only get bigger. But yeah, subscribe for those of you who are not currently subscribed. I have lots planned for 2016, so we're going up. I promise you, we will go up. I know we've been stuck at 128 for a while, but trust me, we will hit, if not 200, we will hit 1,000 in 2016. That is my goal, 1,000 in 2016. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Cam Collins Cody, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles.